To make 2 breads, you'll need 75 grams, 3 ounces of plain flour, 50 grams, 2 ounces of melted butter or ghee, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, about 90 mils, 3 fluid ounces of warm water. So start by putting your flour into a mixing bowl, add about 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 2 tablespoons of the melted butter or ghee. Give that a quick stir around. And then add most of the warm water. Now you don't want the water to be too hot, just sort of finger hot will do. And stir that around with a knife. Then once most of it is stirred in, you'll need to knead it in the bowl. And you're going to knead it for about 5 minutes. If the mixture seems too soft, just sprinkle in a little extra flour. But it does need to be quite a soft dough. And then you start to knead. And you use the heel of your hand in a pushing forward motion. Adding a little more flour as you go, if the mixture's too sticky. Now you'll have to knead this for a good 5 minutes in the bowl, adding a little more flour if necessary to stop it sticking to your fingers. So once you've kneaded the mixture for about 5 minutes in the bowl, it will have become very smooth, almost silky, and very elastic, and that's what you're looking for. And you'll notice that there doesn't seem to be much mixture, but these are actually going to be rolled out very thinly, so it will make 2 flatbreads. So once that's done, cover with cling film and just leave to rest for about 15 minutes. Once the dough has been resting for about 15 minutes, remove it from the bowl and just divide it in half. It really is very elastic. Roll 1/2 into a circle, lightly flour a surface and roll it out quite thinly, flouring your rolling pin as well, otherwise it'll all stick. And you need to roll this out as thinly as possible, being quite firm and making sure you move it around the surface, keeping the surface very well floured. So once you've rolled the first ball into a circle about 6 inches in diameter, you're going to need to brush it with a little of the melted butter that you have left. Brush it quite liberally. And then fold it in half so it sort of looks like a D. Brush it with a little more butter and then fold it in half again so that you have a sort of pie shape. And then you need to roll that out into more or less a circle. It's not terribly important that you get a complete circle. In fact, I don't think mine's going to go into a circle, really, but it doesn't matter. But you're rolling it out quite thinly. Just add a little more flour if you need to, but it's a very silky mixture, so it probably won't stick. And once you've got a circle, which is about 4 to 6 inches in diameter, you do exactly the same with the other remaining piece of dough, and then you're ready to cook. You need to heat a heavy frying pan until it's very hot. You don't want to add any oil or anything else. And to test whether it's hot enough, if you take some of the melted butter, which we're going to use in a second, and just dab a bit on, you can hear that it's sizzling, and that's how hot it should be. So just remove that with a piece of kitchen paper and add your first paratha. You need to cook it for about 30 seconds, and whilst that side is cooking, take your melted butter and brush the side uppermost very liberally. This is, after all, a butter paratha, not for the faint-hearted. So brush liberally with the melted butter, and that's about 30 seconds later, and you need to turn it over. And you'll see the first side has just started to go a little brown. So whilst the other side is cooking, brush the uppermost side that's just cooked with some of the melted butter. And then turn it over again. Leave that to cook for about a minute or two, just turning it every once in a while. You can brush with a little more butter if you wish, and it will actually start to puff up a little. And all that rolling and turning will actually have created layers within the bread. And there it's done. Warm, flaky butter paratha. Serve with a curry of your choice.